Okay, recording. So, but your opponent is playing here, so he's offering you a free move. So why not do it? He'll probably connect, and then you can choose what to do. Because otherwise, it feels like you now do this one, but you're giving white a simple way to get out now. So typically when your opponent plays a Hane on the second line, you at least once you respond to it, because that response is threatening him, and after that you decide what to do. Now this, and Atari, and Atari, and Atari, and now a question. So let's think tactically about this, not strategically. So what to do next? Look around and see how you can gain some advantage here in this fight. So this was a weird idea for him. He cut, but this cut doesn't have any power because he allows you to push through with Atari. That is a very nice push. And so now, how to continue?
Well, there's 3 stones. He just made 3 stones
Yep,
in a row.
yep,
And it would be nice to keep those separated from the ones on the right-hand side.
I agree. So how do we do that?
Well, I think I could go one more time and go P13.
Okay, let me mark that with 1. What if white blocks?
Okay, now go O, O14.
Sure. Oh, sorry. 3. And of course white has to play N13, because that's Atari, right?
Right.
Then what?
But you've got a ladder.
It's not a ladder, because your 3 stone is also, it will be an Atari. If you now, if you now play 5, white will play 6, and that is Atari.
Oh, you're right.
So this doesn't work. But that kind of means that your 3 stone is safe for now. You don't have to do anything about it, because white can never play 5. Like, white can never play 5 because you'll play, wait, you'll play 6, and that's Atari. See what I mean? White can never Atari the 3 stone, because when you start escaping, you'll play N14, and N14 is Atari.
Yeah.
So that 3 stone is safe for now. What next? You've just managed to cut off the 3 stones from the group on the right. What next?
Well, by the same token, uh, he now has surrounded the 2 black stones on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have to get those out somehow or
Yeah,
protect them.
you could do that, but that's exactly why I'm talking to you about this, is because this is something, again, this is slightly more advanced, but I want you to start getting into that mentality, because this is how stronger players always think. And it's about not saving every stone. You can't, like, I mean, first of all, you physically can't save every stone. That's just impossible. And then you're encouraged not to. You're encouraged to make choices, make reasonable choices, and discard some stones while keeping some other stones. Because you think that these stones are important, and those are not that important. So, yes, you can save the 2 stones, but you don't have to do that, because the 2 stones are not that big. But what you can do is realize that at this point, once you've played 1, 2, 3, 4, these stones are cut off. So it's better to now attack them, keep them contained, because that will pressure your opponent, force him to make 2 eyes, and give you more power.
Okay, so now what if you block at S9?
Absolutely. Yes, yeah, of course you block at S9. And this way, white even has no time to capture your 2 stones. Those 2 square stones, yes, they're there. White can capture them in 1 move, but if white does that, maybe the triangle stones die. White has no time to even worry about that for now. White needs to play 6 and connect. And then you play something like 7 to fix your shape, to strengthen the outside. And now maybe white needs to play 8, 9, 10 to live. Otherwise, maybe white is not alive. And now, finally, after this whole sequence, you have time to think. Do you want to save the 2 stones? Do you not want to save the 2 stones? It's your choice. So this is how it's going to be. You push, white responds, Atari, now block, and the white group is completely surrounded and cut off. White has to connect. Now there's a cut at R9, so we fix it. And the white stones are separated and not quite alive. So white has to play this exchange and live and strengthen your corner at the same time. And now your corner is stronger, your right group is strong. White just survived on the second line, which is not very happy for white. And now it's your choice. You can technically maybe run. Oh, no, not like this. Run with these stones if you want to, but you don't have to. It's just 2 stones. You can let them be like this sacrifice stones, and you can use them in the future maybe. While white hasn't captured them yet, you can still use them in some ways. But you don't need to really save them, because when you start doing this kind of stuff, and this kind of stuff, this is not a happy sequence of moves. You're running and you're not making points. Like, if you're running, there has to be a reason. For example, you're running because you're hoping that all of these stones will die. Okay, then it makes sense. But if you're running just to save the 2 stones, you're just making you're just turning 2 stones into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weak stones that need to be saved, and for what? So that's the stronger player mentality. You cannot save everything. Some stones are just meant to be gone, and it's okay. So don't focus on saving every stone. That's not how Go is played. It's about letting something go. So in the game, you played this direction, and this allows white to play here, and white is all connected. So also okay, it's not too bad, but it could have been. Now we just saw that it could have been more interesting if you had pushed the other way and if you had separated white. Now here. And also here, you push, but when you push, this is going to be Gote, right? You push, white will Atari, you have to connect. So why do you push? Why not this one? Why not this one? And still keep the group inside. Like, if you see that when you push here and white Atari and you connect, and white now has the move, and white can play here and escape, this doesn't look very happy for black. So if you see that you're losing the initiative, don't lose it.
Okay, I see.
And this is a big mistake. How to punish? This shape is so weird, right? Why just play this ton 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 ton? It just looks like a weird shape. So, what's the punishment? What to do with it?
Okay, let's go S11.
And that's as simple as it gets. Yeah, S11 Atari. White needs to connect the 3 stones, and then
S9.
yeah, and that is a terrible, terrible situation. Because look, you play here, it's a free move. White needs to connect. You do this, and how is White now going to save those stones? How are they going to live? Where's the eyes? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It looks like they just die, and then this is the end of the game. So you just have a simple way of finishing the game in one move, and pretty much this would have been it. After, if White dies, there's absolutely no way to continue this game. It's immediately like a -30 kind of game for White. So that was
Now, what I'm worried about here, I guess I shouldn't be.
this one.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
Um,
because this is understandable worrying, but we just need to read what's going to happen there.
the stones on the 10th line, my black stones on the 10th line.
On the 10th line, yeah.
If he attacks those or gets those, then I lose that wall.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
And
You have that. If he attacks, that stone is captured, right? You know that,
which
right?
stone?
The one I just captured at 5.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's not just a wall. It's the S10 stone is captured. So it's a very strong wall with already one eye, basically. But how to attack? Like let's say it's White's turn right now. So what to do? How can White
R9.
R9 R9? Okay. Now let me ask you: is R9 a forcing move? Actually, R9 is a very interesting sort of educational example. Like what to do now? What would you do? Because as black, if I'm black here, R9 makes me very happy. And it should make you very happy too.
Well, there's several moves I guess I could see now that basically ignore that and go to 08.
And that's what I would do. Yes. So because R9 doesn't really force you to capture the stone, black doesn't have to do this. R9 is not an Atari or anything, so we just fix the biggest weakness. If you're scared that your stones on the 10th line will get under attack, then the way to fix that is to connect them to the outside to make sure that they start running away. And once they
Yeah.
start running away, there is no way to catch them anymore. And so then obviously those stones will have plenty more liberties than the white stones that are dead inside. So yeah, I would do exactly this. And then it's obvious that after this, you cannot catch these stones anymore. They can go that direction, they can go this direction, they can go that direction. So, come on. How do you even start attacking these stones? But the white stones inside, they have a very certain number of liberties. They have 6. So, you know, not a lot of space to maneuver. So once this happens, it's pretty much over. But I think this might be a more difficult move to. So let's see what happens here. What would you do?
Oh, okay. Now those stones on the left, the four black stones are under attack. They've only got 4 liberties. However, I don't want white to connect.
Yeah.
So probably do O15
Okay.
first.
Yeah, and then the question is, can you save the 4 stones after that? Can white somehow attack them and kill them? So yes, you cut here, absolutely, no matter what. Now let's try different things. Let's try, how about if white goes here and says, I'm going to try and surround the 4 stones? Can you escape?
Okay, well, I think you got to start jumping out like L13.
And this is what I would do, yes. A one space jump, a simple one space jump, yeah. Not too far. Too far, maybe you get cut. So a very solid jump. And then hopefully this will be enough to escape. And then you also have this kind of move in the future, which is a peep, and it helps. And if white connects, you jump again, and you're out. That's it. Okay, that was easy. How about this move? Another trick. White is going for immediate liberty reduction. This is a little harder, maybe. Tactical muscle. Tactical muscle.
Okay, well, you might first want to go to M15.
M15. Atari?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that separates the N15 stone, the A stone, and if we kill that one,
Yeah.
then it's out of the.
I can connect.
Yeah, we can connect. So white has to save that stone.
Yeah, and now L14.
L14. Okay. And if this?
And now M. Oops. Yeah, can still do that.
M12?
M12.
Uh-huh. And I'm guessing another Atari?
Gonna hit. Yeah, let's do that. Kate. No, you went the wrong way, I think.
Oh. If you go this way, then Atari and dead.
Yeah, it's gonna be dead.
So that's what I'm talking about. It's not easy. I mean, this could be difficult even for, I think, if I give this problem to a 10Q, they would have exactly the same hard time that you're having right now. So it's not an easy problem. I'm smiling here, but it's not an easy problem. Right? To a dumb player, yeah, maybe easy, but not easy. Not easy. So I think maybe the way to do it is the tricky way to do it is that those 2 stones, if we catch them, like if we catch them, that's it. That's it. So maybe we can do this move, which threatens a ladder. White can not do anything like this because we just capture. So we just do this and force white into something. And if white starts escaping now, then we can just jump out. Because now that there's a 7 stone there, white cannot push anymore. The push is now, this is now Atari. And we get out. And if white takes, peep, and escape. Yes, white captured 1 stone, but pointless. Black escaped. The white, a group at the top that captured 1 stone is still in danger. It's still not quite alive. And the stones on the right are dead. Disaster. This is the end of the game. And the trick was to, again, not worry too much about saving every stone. So we cut at 7, and we are ready to give that stone up if necessary. So that is, to me, this is the cleanest way. But again, not the easiest, because it requires a lot of like careful calculation, not missing any letters or nets or anything. So you can take a look at the sequence later after the review again.
Okay.
And just to see how everything works here. How, like, this move protects the corner. It's a very solid and strong move because the corner now is very, very strong. And also it threatens the 4 and 8 stones. It threatens to capture them in a simple ladder. And white has almost no escape. And as soon as white starts escaping, we can escape with the 4 stones because this is what we really wanted from the very beginning. And no way for white to do anything. Okay, let's go back to the game. So this was a simple chance. Atari and everything is collapsing. But in the game, this happens and this. And another one, a very interesting and good thing to learn is that whenever you have a shape like this and white Ataris, do you really feel like connecting there right now? Don't you feel that that connection is just, it's like a dumpling. It becomes like a blob, a huge cluster of black stones. Like once you connect there, I mean, yes, you connect, but it makes the shape look ugly and heavy and So there's got to be something else. And there is. In such situations, when you feel like the connection is just making you, it's ugly to look at, there's another way. And the other way, not surprisingly, involves, again, a sacrifice.
Okay. Yeah. So O8.
Yes, and that is the shape. That is the more advanced technique that, of course, you cannot expect any 20Q to just find it in a game. You cannot find it. But once you know it's there, it becomes sort of, at some point, it will become sort of natural. Because you look at this and you're like, no, it's painful to look at. No, this one is a lot more beautiful. This way you don't have to make that connection. You force white into that connection. And now you can actually, next is it's a very interesting sequence next. Because
Okay, so next I would
what would you do?
probably do P9.
P9. Yeah, but you don't need to, right? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And white would connect.
Because it's a free move, right? And then
Yes.
N7.
N7. Yeah. You can do that. But in this case, white would Atari here. And you need to connect. And now the only one who's in trouble here is probably you. So white is strong everywhere, and you have this group that is in a suspicious situation in the middle of the white area. And now it won't die, probably, but now you have to make sure it doesn't die. There's a better way Uh, and it's again, you can consider this as a problem. Look at this as a problem.
Well, the other thing I was thinking was T9
Sure, yes,
to
T9
separate.
doesn't allow white such an easy connection. Yes, so this one is not needed that much because why? But yeah, you play this one and white is separated. That is a more interesting approach. Yes, definitely more interesting because this way it's not only you who's in trouble but also white. But there's an even better way. T9. So this let's call this a 20q move. This maybe we can call this a 12q move. But there's a 5q move here. Or maybe even a 3q move. I don't know.
Well, another one that I see would be S12.
Yes, and that is the 3q move because that S12 is a double threat. It threatens two cuts. Once you play there, you're threatening A and B at the same time. And white has no time to connect. White would like to play here and connect, but no time for that because you will just double Atari and everything collapses. So white can't do this. White has to connect somewhere. Let's say white connects here. But the beautiful thing is that now, having made this shape worse, now you cut. And having inserted this exchange inside, white is reduced to one eye and white is dying. And this is a dead group, I think. And after this, white dies and then it loses the game. As surprising as it seems. So that's why this sacrifice here, this sacrifice is only the first step. It's like not playing the ugly move, not playing the move that your heart doesn't want to play. When you feel like, it's just not looking pretty, probably there's something else. And yes, this is something else. But then now, again, noticing that, there's that problem at A. And before doing anything else, you can poke at that weakness and ask white a question. And once you do that, then you separate and white is defenseless. That was a beautiful thing to find. It's much harder than finding this move. This is something that was easy to find, and I think you could have played it in a game. You're definitely strong enough to find this move. It's just that it just hit a blind spot and you didn't notice it, and you played this one. Finding this combination was, of course, a lot harder. But just to show you that such things are available. And then, of course, this result is, however beautiful it may be, it will never be as good as that one. Because in that variation, you were killing white. So this happens. And again, you were asking me what happened, why did you lose the game? So one reason is tactical fighting. In a tactical fighting, you had several chances that were really, really good, and some of them were quite simple, and you could have found them and just won the game. But another thing is that at some point in the game, maybe under pressure, time pressure, or pressure under like danger, when your stones are in danger and you feel like, I need to save them, your brain still goes back to that, let's just play safe moves on the second line. But remember, we're still playing Go, and your goal as a Go player is still try to play the biggest moves possible and try to ignore passive second, first line moves as much as you can. So when you play this move, like white will block. White for some reason is not blocking it, but I don't know why. But of course, just like you before, white should block. And then what was your plan? To connect? And what if now white plays here? and attacks the whole wall. I'm not talking about the fact that yes, this thing is still there and you can still kill. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if we forget about that for a second, if we only think locally, then this exchange of like Hane Connect, it's a Gote exchange. It's a small second line Gote exchange in the opening. If anything, you should be thinking big things, big things, big things, right? Those things. But I know you're thinking that this whole group is not alive, so you need to help it. Well, what is a better way to help instead of playing on the second line right now?
An extension.
Yes, an extension, a big move rather than a small move. So you don't want to do this. No, play an extension. Just choose a spot that you think is not too far and play it. For example, something like this. You have a
Yeah.
reasonably strong wall, so why not make a longer extension? If you're feeling very adventurous, maybe even all the way to the corner, as like to combine an extension and an approach. But sure, white could think about something like this, try to separate, so maybe, okay, maybe let's think of something more solid. This, of course, is much more interesting than this.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
also,
was trying to reduce his corner, but
yeah, but this is Gote. It should be Gote. Once this
yeah.
happens, Gote. And white gets a chance to reduce your wall.
Yeah.
And now, why second line again? What's your excuse now? Are you protecting the N2 cut? Which is not a cut.
Oh.
You have no excuse. No excuse. Don't even try.
Okay.
No excuse. You have to play. You have to play a big extension. No second line moves. And then after this, you do this. Boom, 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 boom. You see what you had to do because you didn't extend. You had to do all this crawling, all of these moves, and white gets that. This could have been prevented. Had you just played that simple extension, white wouldn't make this wall. White wouldn't have this wall right now. But white is having it because you didn't make an extension. And now this. Okay, so are you alive here? Is black alive?
Yeah.
Okay, that means you don't need to play anymore, right? You don't need to play any second line moves or first line moves here anymore, right? So what's the next move?
Maybe C6.
Yeah, yeah. C6 would have been great. C6 is perfect. Approach the corner, yes. Just keep on, go back to the opening. The opening hasn't been completed. You started fighting before the opening was over, but there's still plenty of spots. C6 is one of them. Closing the corner is another one. Maybe somewhere in the on the left side is another one. Yeah, all of those things are very big, and you need to play them in some order. Maybe play A first, then C or something, then B. Those are the big things. What do you do in the game? This one? Okay, oh, okay, okay. This is a threat. White does this one, but kill now, kill, kill, kill? No. So this one I don't understand. Yes, you can still probably play here and kill the group. Sure, but you're not doing it. Maybe you're not thinking about killing. You don't have the killing mindset in you, but you should. Absolutely. If a group is surrounded, you should have the thinking, okay, if it's completely surrounded and it cannot escape, maybe there's a way to make a placement inside and maybe. So you should look for that. If there's nothing, there's nothing. But you won't lose anything just by thinking about it, you know? It's the same thing when you come to a store with very expensive things. Nobody's going to charge you for like taking them and taking a look at them. So you could
Yeah.
you could toy with the idea of of killing it, even if the kill is impossible. You think about it. If it doesn't work, all right, you go back to playing the opening. But this is why I was asking you the question. Are you alive? You are. Then what are you doing? You're reducing the corner. But it's a gote move because white doesn't have to respond to this. It's a second line. White doesn't have to play r2. White's corner is also alive, so white doesn't have to do anything. White could now very well play this move. And that would have been a very nice response. Of course, white is not strong enough to do that. White plays here. And this gives you the impression that, oh, I'm attacking. But no, you're not. As soon as white is strong enough, he ignores all of your second line moves and plays the big moves. Every time you play small, he plays big. Every time you play second line, he plays big. And that wins him the game. This one, also not a forcing move. White responds, but why does white block here? This is 1 point. Of course white should play something like this. Right? So
Yeah.
it's the same thing that we talked about, but it's just that I'll repeat this until you remember to check this every time. That you get carried away. There's many things going on emotionally and on every level. And if it's easy to remember this at move 7, but it's a lot harder to remember to keep going back to this like memory of like, oh no. I have to stay focused on the big things. I shouldn't go to second and first lines too early. It's very hard to get back to this thought in the middle of this emotional roller coaster, but you have to. So that's...
Well, and I need to do that. You're absolutely right. And I get focused because at first there was this group. I had surrounded all those white stones in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah.
But I felt weak at the bottom of that surround. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 black stones on the 10th line.
1, 2, 3, 4. 10th line? You mean these stones?
On line number 10, yeah, those 4.
Yeah.
And on the left-hand side, I had 4 stones. Right?
Yeah.
And so I worry that if they attack those successfully, then I lose my surround.
I see. But now you don't have to worry. Like, obviously, at this point, you shouldn't worry about the 10th line stones anymore because they're all connected and you have a group at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it has more than 2 eyes. It has like 3 or 4 eyes already. So you're completely alive. The 4 stones in the middle, yes, you can at some point reinforce and play something like this. But right now, it's not too urgent. And probably even if you lose those stones, it's still not big enough so that still this is bigger as an opening move. And even if white now does this, well, I think you still cut and then see what happens. And if white even captures those 4 stones, that's okay. As long as you're not planning to kill, and it feels like you were not planning to kill this right hand group, then I guess it's okay. When we killed it, then it was essential to keep the 4 stones alive. But now that we're not killing it, well, it doesn't really matter. 4 stones die, but you play a couple of moves. Like, for example, white now plays something like this, and you even do this, and white does this, and you do this, and that might be an interesting exchange. White got 4 stones, but you got A and B and C.
Yeah.
Not a bad trade. So you got a few very, very big moves. White captured like 10 points with your 4 stones. It's not that bad of an exchange. Then all of that. And so try to, in general, try to stay sharp. Try to, because look for those. That's why we solved those problems in those PDFs, and you've been solving the 101 weight sheet collections and all those things. It's to give you this kind of sharpness of the expectation, the anticipation of something that's about to happen, because your opponents will be making mistakes, and you need to kind of anticipate that they'll be making some weird shapes, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a weird shape, maybe I can somehow punish that. So that, for example, when you see this kind of move, your instinct is immediately, huh, what is this? This looks a bit ugly. This whole cluster of stones here, it looks awkward. Is there something here?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I can play it all out, but it looks to me like T13.
Yeah, yeah. So typically when this shape happens, immediately it starts feeling very uneasy. White has to connect, and
And now S12.
now S12, and where is white going to make two eyes? White needs to connect, and now you do something like, I don't know, this, and white has one eye, one eye on the right. This is one eye. This is one eye. So white dies again. So that's what I'm talking about. This feeling of shape problems that your opponent has. Don't ignore that. That's what you've been training to notice. When every time your opponent gets something, some weird, clustered, awkward, off-looking shape, you have to be like, huh? Is there anything there? Let me check. And try to find something. Maybe you won't find anything. That's okay. But try. Don't just ignore it and play elsewhere. That's why we're solving those problems. It's to notice moves like this one here. Oh, I mean, this combination was hard, but like noticing this Atari here is not a difficult thing. Anybody can do it, and so can you. Absolutely. So this is something you need to notice in the game and just play it almost without thinking. Huh? Atari, Atari. I can Atari and then take the stone. Okay, thank you very much. I'll do it right now. So that's it for this game. So number one is still trying to keep this focus away from first, second lines and into the big moves. Number two is staying sharp and noticing your opponent weird moves, mistakes, shape problems. And number three, and the more advanced of the bunch, is to try and keep this sacrifice mentality. Like, don't attempt to save every stone. It also comes with, for example, something like this here. When you're thinking about saving stones, then the only move here is to connect. But when you forget about saving stones, when you think, okay, some stones can be and should be sacrificed in exchange for some greater benefits, then the next move comes kind of naturally. You don't want to connect in this clustered shape, but you rather would give it up for a nicer shape. So this kind of moves can only be found when you start, like, when you stop thinking about, I need to save everything, but you start thinking more like, okay, I'll give up something, but that's absolutely fine.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, stop the recording here.